Hey guys, Mistmaster1 here, and welcome back to more Kingdom Hearts Final Mix HD Proud Level 1. In the last episode, we finished up the 100 Acre Wood, got Sora's third cheer ability, and we set off for this world, cleared the Gummy Route out, and made it to End of the World, the final world of Kingdom Hearts 1. Without further ado, this is where it all goes down. Let us begin the final world of the game. Immediately, the ambience is extremely unsettling. We're in the gates of the dark. We can see right in front of us what lies in front of us. Almost nothing is there. It looks like the path just stops flat out there, and there's like real weird kind of like spiral in the distance. This is where darkness ensues, darkness resides. The most powerful Heartless and some of the most powerful foes we will find in this particular world. Let's get going.
Gorge, is that all that's left of the worlds taken by the Heartless?
Those worlds will be restored if we beat Ansem, right?
You betcha!
But if we do beat him, and all these worlds become restored and disconnected, what's gonna happen to this place? And to us?
Well,
This is a Heartless world, so maybe it'll just disappear.
huh?
But no worries. Even if this place goes poof, our hearts ain't going nowhere. I'm sure we'll find our pals again. Yep, I just know that we will. Yep.
Yeah, you're right. I'll return this. I promise.
So begins End of the World. Yeah, there's no music playing right now, which I think is kind of a glitch, because sometimes it plays and sometimes it doesn't. I'm not exactly sure what causes that, but we will be getting some music soon. Don't think the entire world's just emptiness like this. That would be very creepy. I would recommend, I should have done this off screen. Let me just take care of this really quick. I'm going to put on 2 ethers and an elixir. I also recommend you have Gravira and Stopra hotkeyed on your shortcut menu there, because this world is unique, and it's not quite like the other ones. Every world's been unique so far, but in terms of combat and enemies we'll be finding here, this place is pretty lethal. As soon as we step forward, a giant purple spirit bomb rains from the sky and engulfs us. And inside it we'll find some new Heartless enemies. These guys are Invisibles, and they are very annoying. They can charge at you, they can do little spin attacks, they have a very particular move, like there, you see that guy just put his sword in the ground, like so? And they'll create like this little purple circle around you, and you have to get out of the way and right in time to avoid the attack. Ooh, this is lovely. Okay, good. Gravira works amazingly well against these things. They have a little shooting sphere attack, like so. We just took care of 3 of them right off the bat. That's really good. Okay. Let's see if we can... This guy might do his next little desperation move, which if I haven't really gone into much detail about desperation moves too much, they're basically a little attack where the enemy is invincible and they can get off a really powerful sort of attack that they have stored up. And they typically only use it in emergency situations, but these guys can do that move whenever they please. Also, check that out. We have a whole layout of what the world actually looks like when we are inside the darkness, but when we're outside the darkness, everything kind of just goes away again, so that's really creepy. Let me throw an ether really quick. And we'll also, of course, find little chests in this world. In this one right here, we'll have ourselves a Mithril Shard. But be warned, because also, you see like how this platform is sort of jutted this way, like the thin end points this way? If you try to go other places, you can't, because there's actual walls blocking you off, but because the darkness has eaten away so much at this world, you actually can't see it. So what we have to do is follow the pathway that the rocks are trying to show us by, you know, following the thin end in that direction. Be warned, however, because even though they're chests, not all appears to be as it seems in this world. Occasionally, and when I say occasionally, I mean probably like half the chests in this place, that while they do contain items, they also contain a little something else. Yeah, you'll get into forced little fights right here if you open certain chests, and this one contains some Dark Balls and some Invisibles, so we need to watch ourselves really quick right here. I recommend you get rid of the Dark Balls first because there's more of them. They're a little more chaotic than the Invisibles can be. Strength in numbers is always a thing. Oh man, I didn't even realize he was doing that attack right there. That sucks. Okay, let's use a stop right there. Do not be afraid to use your magic. You should have a lot of items built up if you've played well throughout this game. So, you know, this is the last world of the game. There is still some side stuff we could do, but in terms of just overall mob fights and stuff like that, you're not going to have too much more to do in this game. So, if you have, like, cottages, you have ethers, even some elixirs and mega elixirs, don't be afraid to use one or two of them if you have a fair amount in store, because it honestly will benefit you more to have more MP than, you know... Because not having MP in this game, as you've obviously seen, leads to some really dire situations. I'm just trying to conserve some MP at the moment because now I only have one enemy. Ooh, check that out. That is a Gale drop, dropped by Invisibles and one other Heartless that we will be dealing with pretty soon, and that particular Heartless is probably the worst Heartless in the game, at least for level 1 standards. Even though we have forced fights, you will still obtain an item after defeating the enemies, and we got ourselves a pretty stone lick, so... Now, be careful right here. Well, I mean, just be careful in general at this area, because, in all honesty, I'm going to equip... I'm going to use... I don't have... You know what, I'll just leave an ether there. I won't use a restoration thing, but just keep in mind your MP while you're going through this place. Just keep in mind that every time you open a chest, you do risk a forced fight happening. Sometimes you'll be fortunate and it'll just be an item and that'll be that, like that. I just said that 3 times in 2 seconds. But sometimes you'll get fights like this one right here. Like chests like this one right here that do contain fights, and each one contains something different. In this instance, we have ourselves a Behemoth enemy, but this one's a little different from the last one we fought in Hall of Bastion. The color scheme is a bit different. By the way, if you hide underneath this guy, you can have a decent chance at actually, what's it called? You have a reasonable chance of not getting hit by that attack. This one in particular is an Arc Behemoth, and this one is considered a regular Heartless. You remember how I was talking about how certain Behemoths, after the first one we fought in Hall of Bastion, would be considered sort of regular, normal Heartless enemies, and that one was considered a boss-type enemy? Well, this one is nice because you can actually use gravity on the thing. If I could actually hit it. That was kind of stupid on my end. But yeah, gravity works pretty well on this thing. Don't absolutely, you know, tank it out to be the only thing you do here. My party members are dead, which is a little unfortunate, but let's see. What can I do about this? I could throw... yeah, I'll just throw an ether, whatever. I will bring my... Well, first off, before I do that, let me get a full combo off on this guy right here. Now I'm going to jump off. I will heal Donald. I will heal Goofy, and I will summon Genie, because Genie makes this fight a lot faster. Same overall strategy as we used in the first Behemoth fight, except this time, it is susceptible to Gravira or Gravity, or even Graviga if you have that yet. We'll be getting level 3 magic pretty soon after this world, so more on that later. In the next, like, not 3, like 5 videos or so, we should have pretty much all level 3 magic. But yeah, just also try to position yourself carefully here, because if the positioning is really weird, Genie can actually miss most of his little attacks here, so you gotta watch out for that. Let's see if we can back away. The arena's kind of small in this place, so avoiding that little laser attack that he throws at you is kind of annoying. Also, wait a little bit after he does that little laser attack, because he still is kind of invincible. Oh my god, you're serious? Sometimes, and it happens once in a blue moon, you actually do get a Mithril Shard drop, which means I do have to include that in the synthesis video now. Yay! Oh, I thought I was done editing that portion of Mithril Shards. And we get ourselves a Mithril for our efforts there. But yeah, once in a blue moon, you do get a Mithril Shard drop from Behemoths. It doesn't happen very often, that's pretty rare. This is a little... You have to be really careful here. I actually kind of forgot this was coming up, but right here we have some Angel Stars, and we can't really fuss around really at all with these things. I'm going to throw an elixir because this is kind of a dire situation. These guys, I'd rather, you know, not actually explain what they can do. They can shoot little tornadoes like so. These guys can duplicate themselves. Like, they can actually bring other Heartless to life, like as you see right here. They're going to shoot that little thing into the ground, and they can actually form multiple Angel Stars and bring other Heartless to life if you've killed other Heartless. They can shoot little projectile type things. These guys are bad news. I do not even want to bother with them because they are just that bad. You need to kill these things as soon as possible. I gave them a little bit of a chance just to show you kind of what they can do, but if you do not get rid of them fast, they will give you extreme problems here. Angel Stars are the worst Heartless that you could deal with in this game, at level 1 at least, so you really... That's not including certain Heartless we haven't covered yet, but in terms of the main game that you have to go through, they are probably the worst Heartless that we could possibly fight in this place. My MP is looking a little shaky right now, so I'm probably going to use Bambi coming up in a little while here. Got a Mythal Shard. We did get an Elixir just now, so I could use that if I really wanted to, but I still want to try to conserve. This one right here is an Angel Star with some Invisibles, so we have our work cut out for us here. Let's try to get some of them grouped together. Let's use some Gravities. We have to be really quick right here. That Invisible's almost dead after that first little thing. Another Gale Drop. Really nice. Okay. Angel Star is done. That's good. Next thing we're going to work on is this little Invisible right here. Okay, it might be on here. No, it's good. Okay, nice. Also, you'll notice that the Heartless here are actually doing a lot less damage than they normally would, compared to what we've seen so far. And that's because for this particular portion of End of the World, it's actually scaled your damage that you take from Heartless to the same as it would be in the Olympus Coliseum Cups. That will not hold up for other later portions of this world, but for the time being, you are allowed to take 3 hits before you absolutely need to heal in this first little portion of End of the World. I'm trying to get in so much information as fast as possible. I apologize for the shaky commentary right now. But yeah, at this point in time, get yourself another Pretty Stone. At this point in time, you can take 3 hits before you die, before you have to heal or you'll die. This one right here contains a cottage, if I remember correctly. There we go, that's really nice. And I believe these last 2 little platforms on the side right here actually do contain some Heartless fights. I could be wrong about that, but let me just calm myself down. Okay, yeah, Heartless fight right here. What's inside this one? This one contains an Angel Star, some Invisibles, and Dark Balls, so you kind of get a mix of everything. Not the best. Gravira, obviously, a little bit of a cheap tactic, but these guys have no mercy for them. They are complete jerks. You do not want to mess with these things. When you have just Dark Balls left, then, you know, not that big of a deal, but again, do not underestimate the power that some of these Heartless have. I'm making very easy work of them because I'm acting so diligently and quickly to cast a stop off on them and then use a gravity to really dwindle their HP down significantly. If you try to fight these things out the normal way, it is a complete chaotic mess. And you get yourself a Gale from that chest, actually, which is a... Also, if I haven't mentioned that yet, we got a Gale drop there. Invisibles drop those, but also the Angel Stars drop those, so... Unfortunately, we do have to get a fair amount of those. We've gotten a reasonable amount of them so far, so if I'm really fortunate, I'll actually have enough of them through the main fights I absolutely have to take on. But we do have to grind for a few of those, and they are some of the worst enemies in the game for this kind of thing, so that's really unfortunate. The only main threat in this little thing right here is the Invisible, but do watch out for the little Dark Balls that are on the side right here. Get rid of that Invisible like so. These shadows don't have much health after we use the gravity, but that's pretty much everything. Let's use a stop right there to stop all those Dark Balls right there. Gravity on you. Gravity on you. Okay, really good. I'm really making these fights look a lot easier than they actually are. That's only because I have practiced up beforehand. If you are not prepared for some of the fights that ensue in this little place, you are going to struggle big time. But yeah, that should be every single chest in this little part of End of the World, the Final Dimension section. Hey, that rhymed. And for your efforts, get an AP up through that, which is useless at level 1. Let me just double check to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. It's kind of hard to see from a distance, but I do believe I've picked up every single item that this place has to offer. Now we're going to use a cottage. We have 11 of those. We just picked one up a little while ago. No harm in doing so. Honestly, outside of potential synthesis, you know, ease, this is the last real segment of the game where you're going to need cottages and maybe one more part after all that. So if you have like 10 cottages or even 5 cottages right now, don't be afraid to use one because we are getting towards the end of the game and you are going to want to put some items to use. Speaking of which, let me just equip... Oh, I'm out of ethers now after that. Let me just put on 2 ethers and elixir like so. Cottage I highly recommend for what's coming up here because once you step forward, we have ourselves yet another darkness ball gonna engulf us. And this one contains another Arc Behemoth. If we can get behind it really quick like so, we can get a lot of gravities off right from the get-go. Really nice. Let's hold on to some MP in case I do take damage here. Once it does that attack and it stamps the ground, get underneath it to avoid damage potentially. It's going to do another charge-up attack, so let's wait this out once again. and pretty much just wait it out until he's not doing that charge attack anymore. So that's good. Now let's get underneath. It's not a guarantee that you won't get hit from that, but that's your best bet in terms of just getting, you know, not destroyed by this thing. So again, we're still gonna go off the same sort of terms with this thing. I'm just gonna wait until this thing falls down, because, oh, please, no, help me. Ah, okay, that was really stupid. Once this thing falls down, we'll be able to get in some last-minute hits. Oh, did it fall down? No. Okay, let's store some damage, and let's get Genie ready right here. Right when it does this little attack like that, then you want to summon Genie so you avoid the potential attack, like so. That's really nice, is when you're in certain animations like that, like Sonic Blade, Strike Raid, Summoning, you're impervious to pretty much all sorts of damage, so really convenient to summon Genie right there, since it's also invincible and it's getting an attack off at the same time. Now we're just going to rinse and repeat like we have done on various other behemoths like so. This could be a bit sketchy. Let me see if I can get in just a little more damage here. I'm not going to worry too much. Let's see if we can run away from those attacks. I kind of missed out on some damage with Genie right there, but it's whatever. This is why I said your positioning is really important with Genie, because you will miss your attacks if you're not careful like so. But yeah, that's going to do it. We have now cleared the final dimension section. I love that. Final dimension section. That's really nice. We have cleared out everything that the final dimension has to offer, and we're going to move on to our next portion of End of the World. I wonder where that Ansem feller went. You'll have to excuse me, I just had to sneeze right there. I have a little bit of a cold right now, so if that's been apparent, I apologize, but I just really want to get this video out there. Dive into the most dangerous place and we'll find him. So yeah, we have now made it to the giant crevasse. Nice name. Yeah, this place is pretty huge. There's a lot of things here. I want to cover this, but also I kind of want to save it to next video. Because even though this has been a bit on the short side compared to a lot of videos we've done so far, there is a lot to do in this world still. We've covered a big portion in the final dimension like so. And honestly, I think I'm going to save this place for next time. So what I'm going to do is just drop down all the way down here to this little save point in the giant crevice. I'm mature, I know. And yeah, that's gonna do it. This place right here leads us to the next portion of End of the World, but there's still a lot of things to do in this particular place. Look how huge this area is. We will explore this area and go through here next time. So guys, I've been Mr.Master1. I need to breathe. Okay, this has been episode 44 of Let's Play Kingdom Hearts Final Mix HD Prod Level 1, and in the next episode we will dive deeper into End of the World to try to track down Ansem, go through here, explore this little area right here, and see what else this world has in store for us. So, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in episode 45. Take care.